Hello, my name is Instructor Taylor, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about an exterior VI. First thing we want to do is look top to bottom, or work our way from top to bottom, left to right. First thing we're going to look at is the lean of the truck. Is there any lean on this truck, left, right, forward, or back? So we look at the front, no lean to left or right. We look forward to back, there's no lean forward to the back. What could cause that is a blown tire or damages the suspension. Next, we're going to talk about our lights. Up top, I got all my clearance lights. They are amber in color. They're probably mounted secure. They're not broken, cracked, or damaged. They are clean and they are clear. Coming down, we come to our headlights. And our headlights are probably mounted and secure. Our lenses are clean and clear. We have an amber marker light and an amber reflector on the side. Our high and low beams have to be clear. Then we're looking for leaks underneath the truck. That would be diesel, oil, coolant, or power steering fluid. And then we're going to open up the hood. Next, we're going to come into the engine compartment. We have our coolant reservoir. It's probably mounted secure, not broken, cracked, or damaged. It's got its manufactured caps, and it's between the max and the minimum. Our hoses coming off of our reservoir are not abrasion. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. We have our oil fill cap. It is probably mounted and secured. It's got its lanyard. It is the manufactured cap, and it's not leaking. Coming over to our dipstick, we pull it out, wipe it off, put it back in, pull it out, look and make sure it's between the add and full line. And that would be here, your min and max. Next, all of our airlines have no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Audible leaks or exposed wires, and that goes for all of the electrical, air, and fluid lines. Now we come over to our steering linkage. Our steering linkage is properly mounted and secure. It has no loose joints. It's not been cracked or damaged. This here's your steering linkage, as well as this down here, and you have a castle nut and cotter pin here and here, so it is secured with those. Coming up to our power steering reservoir, it's properly mounted and secure. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged. It is between the min and the max. It's got its manufactured lid, and coming off of it, we have our power steering hose. It's secured on both ends. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. And then we come down to our steering gearbox. It's probably mounted secure. It's not missing any hardware. It's not broken, cracked, or damaged, and it has no leaks. Now we come into our shock absorber here. It's probably mounted and secured at the top and at the bottom, not been cracked or damaged, and it is not leaking. Then we come down to our leaf springs. Our leaf springs are properly mounted and secure. They're not broken, cracked, or damaged, not shifted, scissoring, or missing. Then we have our spring mounts in the front and in the rear, and that is where it is. The leaf springs are secured. It has all of its proper hardware. And then we have bushings in the front and the rear. Those bushings are not cracked, damaged, or missing. We have our U-bolt, which secures our leaf springs. It's probably mounted and secured, not bent, cracked, or damaged, and it has all of its hardware. And then we come up to our our brake airline hose, right? It's probably mounted and secured on both ends. It has no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. Then we come onto the inside of the tire. We're looking inside, and we don't see no dirt, oil, or grease. Then we come up to the tire. The inner and outer wall has nothing embedded, no missing ply. It's not got big gashes in it or cuts. Then we come up to the top of the tire, and we're looking at our tread depth. We must have at least 4/32 tread depth up here, and the rest of the truck and trailer, as far as those drives and the tires back there, they can all be at least 2/32. Now coming back to the condition here, we're going to talk about they are evenly worn. They are not mismatched. There's nothing embedded. There's no giant strips of tire tread missing. We have no flat spots, and there's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks, right? Then we come down to our rim. Our rim is, and this is probably mounted and secured to our rim here. Our rim, it's not bent, cracked, or damaged. There's no illegal welds, and there's no distorted bolt holes. And those distorted bolt holes would come out right here around these lug nuts. All of our lug nuts are probably mounted and secure. They're not, they're all tight, and they have no rust trails coming off. These little bitty rust trails indicate that we have loose lug nuts. All of our studs are not sheared, and there's no shiny thread on these studs. Then we come over to our tire inflation valve. It is not bent, cracked, or damaged, and I would check my tire with a commercial inflation gauge. This tire should have a metal cap on it. This one does not, so I'll go get one. Then we come to our first marker light. Now we would check all of the marker lights down the truck and the trailer, but this marker light is where we're going to start. We're going to generalize, right? All of my side-facing lights and reflectors are probably mounted and secure, not bent, cracked, or damaged, clean, clear, and amber in color. We come over to our mirror. It's probably mounted and secure. It's not bent, cracked, or damaged, and there's no cracks on the glass itself. It's got all of its mounting hardware, and there's no damage to this. Coming over to our battery box. Our battery box is probably mounted and secure. The batteries inside are probably mounted and secure. We don't have any corrosion up on the terminals. All of our connections look good. We have no frayed wires. Then we have our gas tank and def tank. We're going to talk about them both together because they're the same style of talking points here. They're not bent, cracked, or damaged. There's no leaks underneath. Both caps are securely fastened. They have their lanyards and they are the manufactured cap. And they are secured with their straps, and the rubber straps on the diesel tank here, they're not dry rotted, cracked, or missing. Now we're in between the truck and the trailer. We have our air lines and electrical lines. Our air lines are properly mounted and secured on both ends. There's no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or leaks. We're gonna pop this off and look at our glad hand seals. They're not broken, cracked, or damaged, or excessively worn. This one has a little damage here, and this one's getting a little dry rot, but it's all right. It still makes a secure connection. Put it right back. Then we have our electrical line. It's probably mounted and secured. No abrasions, bulges, cuts, or exposed wire. It's secured on both ends. I look inside here, make sure I have some grease here and some grease in there to make sure we have a good connection. Then we're going to talk about the truck frame. Our truck frame and cross members, it's not bent, cracked, or damaged, not twisted, no illegal welds, no holes. It's got all of its securing hardware on there. Then we're going to come up underneath. Now we're looking at the apron. The apron of the truck is secured to the frame. It's not bent, cracked, or damaged. It's not excessively worn, and it has grease on it. There's no gap between the fifth wheel skid plate and the apron. The fifth wheel skid plate is properly greased and not excessively worn. The pivot pin, which is this guy right here, not bent, cracked, or damaged, and it's not sheared off, it is properly mounted and secure. Our locking jar arm, or release arm, is in the locked and stowed position. It's not bent, cracked, or damaged. And then we come down to the fifth wheel slide. Your fifth wheel slide should be locked into place with the pins on the inside. There's a switch inside the truck that locks these pins. Being that these are on the inside, you just kind of have to trust that they are locked into place. But they go onto this slide rail right here. And that slide rail is probably mounted and secured to the truck frame with all of its appropriate hardware. It's not bent, cracked, or damaged. Now we're gonna come back here. All right, coming up underneath the truck. Inside here is the opening to the fifth wheel slide plate, and inside there is the kingpin. That kingpin is locked into the back with the locking jaw around the shank of the kingpin. My kingpin's not bent, cracked, or damaged. It's not mushrooming. It is greased, as well as those locking jaws that are wrapped around the shank of the kingpin. While we're down here, we're going to look at the frame of the trailer. The frame of the trailer is not bent, cracked, or damaged, not twisted, no holes, no illegal welds. Then while I'm here, I have a good idea about the clearance between my truck frame and my landing gear. My truck frame and landing gear need about 3 feet of width in between them, so that way they don't touch. I have that proper clearance. Now I'm going to talk about my landing gear. All right, my landing gear. It's properly mounted and secured to the trailer frame. It's not bent, cracked, or damaged. I have both my feet. They are both present. They're not too excessively worn. I have my crank arm, or the raise and lower arm, whatever you want to call it. It is in the locked and stowed position. I have proper clearance between the bottom of my pad here and the ground, meaning that my legs are all the way raised up. Now we're going to talk about the DOT tape. DOT tape has to be 50% all along the side of the truck and trailer. It's got to be not ripped, tattered, or torn. Obviously this one has some rips, tatters, and tears, and it's starting to peel. I would replace all this. Then we come further down to our last set of frames, and we have the tandem axle. So on our tandem axle frame, we have a tandem release arm, and we have locking pins here and there. These locking arms, the release arm needs to be locked in the locked position, and our pins need to be set inside. They cannot be broken, cracked, or damaged, and these pins can't have any signs of mushrooming. Now talking about the frame itself and its cross members, it can't be bent, cracked, or damaged. No twists, no illegal welds, and no holes. And that completes your tandem frame. We come to the rear of the trailer. We have all of our lights here. We have our clearance lights up top, lefts and rights, brake lights, and tail lights. But we're going to generalize it all. All of my rear facing lights, lenses, and reflectors, probably mounted secure, not broken, cracked, or damaged. Clean, clear, and they are red in color. Then we talk about our 100% DOT tape all along the back here and along our bumper, our DOT bumper. It's all properly mounted and secure. It's not ripped, tattered, or torn. It's not peeling. I like to come over here and say I would inspect this side of my truck just like I inspected that side of my truck, and that completes my exterior VI.